Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Real Talk. This is a show where we talk about real stuff, so for example, mental health related stuff. And today is about sexual orientation and everything around it. Um, we are going to approach a bit of like sexual stuff, but mostly about finding who you are before doing anything sexual, or even going after any sort of relationship. um, Going through like finding who you are basically and being careful about your orientation, being respectful, getting to know what the main sexual orientation are, their definitions, not obviously their actual complete definitions, more of like what they consist of in words that aren't corporate or like just basically like talking to a wall. We're more like talking to someone who actually, you know, uh, like a person, not like a robot. So in this video, we are going to avoid some 18 like plus subject, but there will be no explicit imagery. So if you even if you're under 18, you can still watch the video. But if you're under like 15, I would advise like to maybe not watch it. There will be board subjects, even though it's only voice that are really really graphic, uh, and if you're between 15 and 18, then I would advise to absolutely watch this. So let's start with the beginning, obviously. Oh, and as you can tell, obviously this is a series where I try not to edit anything. I keep all the blank spaces, all the stutters I have, everything. Only reason I would have a cut is if my recording like corrupts for like a second or lags or drops frames or whatever. So yeah, the beginning, finding who you are before anything, because a lot of people actually know who they are and they're comfortable with their sexuality. Not everyone though, that's the thing. Some people when they're like 25, 30, 50 sometimes, they just change sexual orientation because even especially when you're like 40, 50, some people actually realize like they've been lying to themselves the whole time and they just switch completely from being maybe gay to straight or straight to gay or whatever it is. Obviously there's more than that. This is an example. But before doing anything, basically, the first step is to find out who you are. If you don't know who you are, how do you expect to be able to be happy in finding something that you actually like? You need to really, obviously all of this ties into my other videos and even to obviously anything else. Don't go watch them, you don't have to, obviously. I'm just referencing them. Don't waste your time watching my videos. But what you need to do though is work on yourself before you can like really know what your orientation is. Be aware of yourself. Ask yourself, do I have issues right now that may skew my perception of what I want, what I like? And you may say, what does that have to do with my sexuality? Example, personal example. I used to be under my mom's, obviously guidance, everything when I was a kid, and I used to be straight completely until high school, and in that religious setting as well, like Muslim and everything. And the second I moved out for like college, I mean uni, whatever you wanna call it, second I moved out, I realized I'm not straight, and I don't want any religion or anything, because your environment is a big factor to everything. When you are in an environment with people around you that can influence you a lot, family most importantly, it does a lot to you. And you may not realize it, just like I didn't until I moved out. That environment is key and it changes you and everything. You may not realize that maybe like right now you're straight, but you're not like you not actually want that. Some people realize that through, like I did, moving out, or some people may realize that by going into a relationship with a preferred sex, I mean gender, whatever you want to call it, and realizing they don't really like that. There's different ways you can find out, but I would rather want you to find out by improving yourself, being aware of your surrounding, your environment, including the surrounding and the people around you, that can influence you. Any like, for example, from your money or everything, you know, that may influence your state of mind and actually skew your perception of what you want and what you like. Than actually, you know, getting into a relationship and being disappointed and hurt and heartbroken, and that's how you find out. I don't want you to find out through the first option than the latter. This is the first thing. Obviously, it takes time. For me, I'm 21, and I only really recently, you know, I'm still not sure of myself, but at least I have a general ballpark of what I want. I'm not straight, but I wouldn't mind a straight relationship. I'm more like, you know, into being like gay and everything, but you never know. I'm pansexual, but I went from straight 2016 and before to 2016 2018 bisexual, 2018 2020 being bisexual gay in, to now being pansexual. You get me? And I even had a phase where I was like, oh, I'm more straight than gay, you know, like now it changed. Even for me, it changed every time, and a lot of this is because of my state of mind. Like I had stuff that like I was aware of that was changing my perception of things and what I liked, and that's why I didn't get into any relationships. So yeah, that's the first thing. Find out what you really like and be sure there's nothing around you skewing this perception. After that, sorry, I took a bit of like not even notes. I just wrote some things in my Chrome browser on my phone so I can actually have, you know, like, you know, key points to actually talk about, because I'm trying to have some sort of structure in the video. Then, second step. At least in basic when I'm saying first, second step, these are not steps you have to follow. Obviously, this is not a guide. This is just an advice video. But yeah, second step for me at least would be then when you're sure that you really like you're sure about your sexuality, or you're ready to experiment with like sexuality that you're comfortable with, not forcing yourself to. Then you can start actually finding, you know, who you love. And by that I mean like the kind of person and the kind of sexuality, because once you're clear and you have nothing to skew your perception, for step one, you can find your sexuality completely, and then actually analyze people. Do you want to have a gay relationship? I think my first sentence, by the way, on the second step was completely wrong. That was the opposite of what I was trying to say. I'm mostly trying to say you can find your sexuality now that you found it in step one. Step two is finding it, basically, and you need to basically find it, you know, like you know that you know you're clear, nothing to skew you. Now you can find it. There are multiple ways, like, you know, obviously, but talking to people, just talking to people online, everything is a great way. You don't need to have sex with someone to know if you like that gender. People like to bring up the point for bisexual. Oh, did you have sex with, or like with both genders, or relationship with both genders? You don't have to. You don't need to have the relationship or sex with both genders to know if you're bisexual or not. Like, no, that's not how it works. It helps. Yes, it helps to actually be in the real thing, but you don't need to know. That's the thing. And that's one thing I really don't like, personally, probably, like making an exception about bisexuality. But yeah, then you can find people that you can try to find what you love, you know, who you love, what sexuality do you want. And one important thing is you need to be careful with people that you meet. Being careful is going to be a point later on, but here I'm talking about not about being careful in terms of security, but about like, don't find someone that you know is not going to be like what you like, like the gender or the sexuality that you like, just for the sake of experimenting. Be careful of yourself. I'm not saying be careful with, like, your security once again, but be careful of your own mental health. You don't want to have a relationship with someone um, just to try things out, and it just hurts you in the end. Um, Unless you're someone who really is like resilient and you have a plan, and I mean, not really a plan, but like what to do in case like you're heartbroken, you know how to cope and everything. You can get like you can get past obstacles and hedges easily. Then yeah, sure. Then if you have your way, you can do it. But careful, you have your own mental health. Careful with it. So yeah, find who you love. Experiment safely. Mental health important. And point like 3 or 2.5, like it's free. That's one of my main points. It is, dude, mate, don't look for love right now if you have other issues going in your life that will affect it. I'm not looking for a relationship right now. Why? Even though I know I'm kind of sure of my sexuality. Why? Because I have issues. My main one is money. I do not want to be in a relationship while I'm financially unstable. I want to be financially stable, and then I want to look for a relationship. Everyone has their own goal, obviously. May not care about this. I do. But that's why this point is about your priorities. Set your priorities straight. Make a list, a mental list, obviously, in your head, of your priorities. What do you want first? For example, when I say money, I'm not saying money is my number one priority. I'm saying I want to have money first before I get into a relationship. Because if I get into a relationship here, for example, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna see the person sometimes, but I don't have my own apartment right now. I'm at my dad's. And if I have money, I can have my own apartment. So I would be more comfortable in my relationship. I'll be able to have the person in my own house. Not in this one room apartment, I mean, right now. That's a dirt hole, for example. No? Like, this is just one way that money will help me for like relationship wise. But you might have different priorities. Money may not be your issue. Maybe like I said before, your environment is your issue. You want to first get rid of the people that hurt you, or move out of the town or place that is hurting you emotionally before you get into a relationship. Even if it's your own apartment, remember to move out of the apartment, find a new one, whatever it is, before you can get into a new relationship or like an actual first relationship. Basically, before going for love, once your nothing is killing your perception of security, once you find your sexuality, or at least are willing to experiment safely for your mental health, set your priorities straight. That's it. That's the most important point for me, at least. Be sure that you are not letting love overpower something and make you ignore something that is more important than love and your sexuality. You want to be happy. You don't want to get in a relationship and be sad. Trust me. And that's basically the main point I want to make here of the whole video. Careful. Don't have your priorities straight. I mean, this part of the video, not the whole video, but anyway, for the point. Then we have, I think, this one is about being careful. Yes, it is. And I don't need to look at my phone anymore because I have the points in my head now. I need to get better at that, remembering stuff. You want to be careful. That's the next point. 4. Be careful. And here I mean security. There's Tinder, there's like Grindr, there is like Timey, which are all great social dating apps. Or you may go to the bar. Yeah, it's not golf. To the bar, or you may go to a party. Doesn't matter if it's online or in real life. Be careful. You do not want to meet up with someone who's going to be dangerous. For example, I signed up for Grindr. I never use it. I signed up. I looked at 5 seconds. I got 20 messages. I was like, I'm done. Those people obviously very like, they they look very creepy to me. Or like, oh yeah, like coming in directly like predators. Maybe these people were nice, but the way they're approaching me doesn't make it seem like this. And I've had, we all had experiences with people, obviously. So some of us can actually, like, like assumption that are mildly right at least about people based on how they act and the way they approach you. And that's why I don't use Grindr anymore. People on there really, or people that approach me at least, are very, 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 very. They don't seem like a great person. They're very aggressive about it. And always, basically always be careful. Do not talk to people on like that could be like hurtful. Always check for their age. One thing that I like recommend, obviously because it's all about trust, but one thing I can recommend is if it's legal in your country, obviously, and not a big deal, how someone like have their ID card or something, and then like on a piece of paper write number that you tell them to write, and take a picture like this. Like yeah, I could do it right now. I don't mind showing my ID card, but like I don't want to do it because I'm gonna change name, and I mean I don't even mind showing my own name ID card, but I'm not gonna do it right now. But yeah, always like this is only one way of proving they are actually your age that you're looking for, and 18 plus. Okay, do not have a relationship that's sexual at least with someone that's under 18. Okay, unless you're under 18, I mean like at least 16. Okay, like your age of consent. Do not go under consent. If you're at least the age of consent, and you're not like 10 years apart, if someone is 16 and a half here in France, I think it is for like consent, and you're like 16 and a half or like 18, I think that's alright. But like if you're like 32 looking at someone that's just got like age of consent, you're a pedophile, and please, like, you're not, fuck up my face, and please stop using social media. Be careful of those people, be aware of those people, be careful about everything. Do not get into, obviously, the main stuff that's like everyone knows, not get into people's car randomly, when you meet them on Tinder. Always check about them online, like their background. One great way to do that is to go on their profile, ask them for their Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. Like try to find their username they use on the profile, the name, whatever it is, if it lines up with what they have or they give you, for example. And yeah, like for my name, for example, is consistent across almost every platform, but my YouTube, obviously. But if you really look into my YouTube, you can clearly say, like, know that, like, even in my videos, like, my name is Taylor. I mean, yeah, like, you can check everything. I'm not lying. But people might be lying. You can check for me, but not for everyone. So like, check them, check their socials. Don't be creepy about it. Don't be a stalker, but check it at least a bit. But be careful. And probably the most important one is obviously be careful with your own health. Use protection. Obviously, I know protection is not always the best when it comes to sensations and everything, but if you're someone that's new, if you're with someone that's new, sorry, use protection. At least get them tested. And I'm not saying that like, as like oh, everyone you meet, you need to fucking ask them to get tested. No, I just like ask them question about it. Like I would not have any sexual relationship with someone that hasn't been tested before, but only if they're really aggressive about it and they don't want to say anything about it, because I would have doubt. But if someone hasn't been tested before and they tell me, yeah, I mean, like, they don't have any like family member that had any of it, they were being careful before, for like STDs, for example, being careful before, I mean, okay, you've been careful your whole life when it comes to sexual preferences, experiences. You've been, Emil, you've never been tested. That would be nice if you did, but as long as you're being careful and you know there's nothing, we can maybe work something out. For example, yeah. There's also, I mean, after all that, obviously security. So I'm not gonna talk anymore about it. After that, the next point is then, once you have everything ready, jump into it. You have nothing skewing your perception. You are good. You know what you want. You're ready to start experimenting. You have your priorities straight. Like, you're being careful. like just jump into it, literally. Obviously, it's not easy. Even for me, it's not easy, because you may suffer from like social anxiety or anxiety. There are ways to cope with it. Obviously, we all have different ways. I like to like let people approach me first, but sometimes I might approach them first to try to improve my social anxiety. And you know, it's all about who you are. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you how to do, like what you wanna do, because you all have different ways to approach people, and jump me to the whole love game. But yeah, just jump into it your own way. Be careful, but actually do it, because you won't know what you like, you won't be happy, you won't know anything unless you actually try for real. You will know metaphorically, like I said before, like you don't need to have experience a real thing to know, but it helps a lot. And I'm just contradicting myself in like 2 seconds, but like I don't mean to. That's just how I speak. Like I don't use like the actual right words that really come to mind. I just go with the flow. But like yeah, just that will help you solidify that. Like it will help you solidify that you actually want to have that person, that gender, anything, and you attract that, and you're gonna be happy, and not in 20 years feel like you wasted your whole life chasing the wrong gender. You know. Right. For point 5, I want to be really clear about like stuff about like, for example, like sex work and everything. Not really sex work itself. Like that's an example of my point, but like the point itself, I want to conclude on is just being more, advice on being more comfortable with it. Obviously, I only had sex like once. Wasn't great either. And like I haven't tried everything. I haven't been in like a real relationship in ages. So like yeah, I'm not an expert at that. I know people. I'm sure people even my age or younger than me have more experience than me in that subject, for example. But I'm really talking about what people I've talked to, from their experiences, taken from that, from my own when it comes to like people, but mostly also other people and everything. And basically, there's multiple ways to be more like comfortable. For example, your body. That's one big thing that people are really stuck on when it comes to finding a relationship. They really get stuck on their body, like, oh, I'm never gonna find a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is, because of my body, Oh, by the way, I'm not gonna conclude on that. I'm gonna have a talk about a different orientation, genders, whatever, to really finish it off. But yeah, I just fucking lost my train of thought. I love it. Basically, what was I saying again? I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna cut the video here because I'm gonna remember in like 2 seconds. I know it. We're talking about this, yeah. Being careful, everything. Okay, yeah. Being comfortable with your body and everything. Like your image. One way that you could do that is, like you can maybe try to talk to people that can give you advice on stuff. I know some people actually use like social media, like making an NSFW to Twitter where they post nudes and everything. I do not encourage posting nudes of yourself if you don't want it. Do not do it. If you're under 18, no, do not post any nudes of yourself. This is incriminating for both you and everyone else. If you like someone saying you're 18 and you're not, and you're saying the nudes, do not do that. What I'm saying is, people that are of age, 18 plus or 21 plus, whatever it may be in your country. So I know people who, and myself included, that actually made NSFW Twitter when might be posting picture of yourself, and that it makes you actually feel better about your sexuality, your body image, and that's something that's only one way of feeling better about yourself and your body image. You may want to, for example, YouTube videos. Even this helps you because I'm talking to the camera right now, and I'm looking at myself. Like literally, I am looking at myself. I have OBS open, and only thing I'm looking at is myself in my eyes. I'm looking at myself in my own eyes, and I used to say like I'm ugly. I still think I am, but you know, that's another point. I'm looking at myself. It helps me, my own body image. So yeah, there are multiple ways. I'm not going to like list them all, but YouTube streaming, YouTube content, any kind of content, including yourself in a video streaming, even like posting videos online, maybe if it's pornographic or anything, sex work or anything, as long as it's respectable and you're being safe and you actually want that and you're not doing it because like of like environment around you. Like I said, you need to be sure of whatever you do. What I mean, maybe, sure, do it if it helps you, which it should. And you need to like if you are comfortable with your body, you're good. If you're not, try to find something that actually helps you, whatever it may be. Last point. It's been 26 minutes of recording. Long video. Last point. Genders, sexualities. A lot of people are confused about genders. The one thing is, you want gender, like to not be something that's just like male, female. People really like to fucking say, oh, it's all about the chromosome. The chromosome only define your sexual organs. Then are your sexual organs, the fucking I mean, they also define your like your hormones and everything. But then, do hormones and sexual organs define who you are, like your gender? What about transgender people? Transgender people that have different hormones and have different sexual organs. What about it? Chromosomes are useless in that case. Their chromosomes, that XY chromosome, is fucking pointless. Yeah, they might not be able to reproduce, and that's one thing that people actually like to say about as a point. But like, that should not be a point to determine your gender. Obviously, there are some genders that are completely bullshit. I call them the Tumblr genders, like some made-up genders or whatever. Like, there are some bad genders, obviously, as always, because those are not actual genders. Those are more like gender identities, different thing. Those are okay, but people try to people that don't know about that, are new to it, try to classify identities as like genders. I mean, gender identities are genders, like actual genders, when it's not the case. But like, yeah, someone, like you may find someone, or you yourself be someone who's like a male or a female. Okay, cis. It's alright. Who cares? You may be transsexual. Nice. Alright. Who cares? You may be a like you may be like a gender. Yeah, you're a gender. Nice. Who cares? Why am I saying who cares? Because you're not special. Someone that's straight is not special. Why? Because we are all fucking human. Who cares? Like we are all humans. And I'm saying that because people really like to say, oh, you're snowflakes. You think you're a snowflake because like you're that gender. That's our norm. No, that's not why. They don't care. Some people do, obviously, and they ruin it for everyone. But like most people don't. Nobody cares. They just people that are different gender, or like gender identity, just do it because they want to be themselves. Gender identity is all about being yourself, finding who you are, and being happy with yourself. If you're not happy being a male, why stay a male? Like someone might fucking want to be something else, and sure, let them. It's not affecting you. They're being happy. The only thing that's happening is them being happy. Like, I don't know why it's a bad thing for someone to be transgender, for example, or gender fluid, or whatever it is. When it's the only thing that happens when they are like this is the happiness level increasing. Obviously, I'm not gonna talk about how sometimes it can be wrong and it hurts your own self because like you thought you were that gender but actually you don't and you wasted time. Wait, I'm not getting into that because that's all comes with it. Obviously, it's all just pre-said. It's like it's implicit. Obviously, like yeah, Just be respectful people, you know, respect your genders or whatever it is. If you're someone that has a like want to use pronouns like they, for example, if you use they, like they and everything, please don't be offended. Like if someone doesn't know and just use them, it's not trying to be toxic, just doesn't know. Like if you're like, for example, if you use she and you were a male before, so you still look like a male, and they say he, but you want to use she, for example, or be offended. It happens. It's normal. Not everyone misgendering you is trying to be fucking offensive to you. They just don't know. It happens. If you get offended when people are just misgendering you by accident, then you're just fucking going to ruin them for everyone. Make them think everyone is like this when it comes to like the community it is in, like you're in or whatever, and you're going to make it like bad for everyone, and in their mind they will always have a bad image of the whole community or that gender thing, gender community. So yeah, you know, be respectful. And like I want to also touch on like a couple sexualities that like are, you know, out of the straight and gay thing and bisexual. We have like you may have like asexual, which is like, you know, not, there's no real feeling of anything sexual. They just want to have a relationship. Don't really care with who. Some may be more like, you know, leaning to some genders, but only mostly when you're asexual, it's mostly yeah, asexual is mostly yeah, right, mostly emotional, not sexual, which is why they're called asexual. You may want, like, you may have something like pansexual, where it's everything. Maybe what's the difference between pansexual and bisexual? I mean, pansexual is more about everything, so like not only male, female. And with bisexual is a bit more complicated than that, but I don't want to get into it right now. But like pansexual is about everything. Asexual, like transgender people, agender people, like everything. Because like obviously sexual orientation really gets into and intertwines with gender identity. Obviously, the two are related. So yeah, like I would suggest going on the internet on like a reputable source. It's easy to find reputable source. People are like, oh, like what a reputable source? It's easy to find as long as like you have like 2 brain cells. Just look online for the right websites, you know. Like anyone can actually find them, unless you're really like new to the whole subject. Then yeah, I can get why you don't know the right sources. But like I would say mostly people who actually, you know, I mean website that actually, you know, have like a positive feedback about them on the internet. Just like literally go on Twitter, put like gender identity on the search bar, like and put like .com or whatever it is. I forgot to look for like links in particular, but like yeah, try to look for links and like look at the Twitter, for example, the tweets, and look at the feedback. Look at tweets, like Twitter articles about gender identity, and look at the feedback. You may find a reputable website or not. Obviously, it's a lot of work, but like if you're invested into it, if you're watching the video because you're invested into it, why not just go fucking watch, like, you know, do a bit more research. So yeah, that's all. Basically all I wanted to talk about today. Half an hour of a video, that's long. I love my hair right now. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love it. It's the fucking bit fucked here, whatever. Yeah. This hair is actually annoying me. You'll take care of yourselves. Alright. Take care of yourselves. Be careful. And once again, do not disrespect people. Be respectful, people. Be careful. Don't go too fast. Use protection when you feel like you need it. And, you know, take care of yourself. All of this is about mental health in the end. It's about you being happy. It's about you taking care of yourself. Because not rushing anything, actually being careful about it, and everything in this video, those steps, in the end, it's about taking care of yourself. Love you. Take care.